I was watching a podcast earlier today where somebody said, I'm an entrepreneur, and just the way that I feel like we're all gonna die one day, might as well leave something awesome here behind me. Might as well take up the challenge. Might as well, give it my all while I'm here. Or if not, what else are we doing? If you're that type of person. Yo, what's up, guys? It's Lionel the Builder back again with another video, and today I'm excited to react to the skills that you need to become an entrepreneur as a programmer. Why? Because I think that we all have seen how crazy the tech market can be and how you can apply for countless jobs, have to make cover letters, or take the chance of not making them, and that's an entire middleman in between you and the client, when you could use your skills as an entrepreneur to get your own clients, to build your own business, and then immediately you give yourself the job, you give yourself the title. Although in the beginning, what did they say? We work 80 hours so that we don't have to work 40 hours a week. Anyway, enough ranting. Let's get into the video. Let's go. I'm excited. Like, share, and subscribe as well.
Learning the code to get a job, and I want to start talking about what it takes to learn to code and become an entrepreneur, because that's kind of the road I'm taking with my skills as a programmer, and I want to start making more content on that. So in this video, I want to talk about what skills do you need if you want to be a programmer entrepreneur, or an entrepreneur programmer, or an entrepreneuring programmer, whatever you get.
Right. My bad. I am in the way of the captions.
Get what I'm saying?
You know what I am saying?
First, you need a good solid base of technical proficiency. You can't get around that, right? Most people who become entrepreneurs as developers have some experience doing this as a job. Many people go from working a 9-to-5 regular corporate setting job at a tech company, or maybe even a non-tech company, and move into entrepreneurship with coding. That's not saying that you can't learn to code, get the skills self-taught, and then apply that to building businesses with tech, with programming, but you do need to know how. So that could mean you go out and learn how to code and then start building your business, or you're like me, who already knows how to code, who worked as a developer professionally for a few years and then wants to start building things like micro SaaSes or SaaS products or websites and things that can generate you money. That's what you have to focus on first. Like, you need.
That's basically me. Yes, yeah, you need your skills up as a coder, right? But then you have the ability to create anything. So why not create a service that will generate income?
Need to be able to do this job or this thing from a technical standpoint. You could be a non-technical founder. Like, there are people who do that, who don't know how to code and become entrepreneurs by building SaaS products. But if you're bootstrapping stuff and you're trying to build things from the ground up on your own, there's probably a better chance of you going the indie hacker route and being technical than to have to go and find a technical co-founder and being the non-technical person. Also, it helps you in a lot of different ways, because eventually, if your company gets big enough, and when that time comes, if you're not technical and you don't know anything about programming, you don't know how to code, then you're stuck in a spot where now you have to either find someone who is technical and then have them hire, which then goes back to having a technical co-founder, or hoping.
I literally just remembered that this is what made me become a software developer. I was a non-technical co-founder of the crypto startup. Some of you have heard this story before. There was our biggest expense was our code review over the team that was building the game, and because of that, mixed with crypto going down and a few other circumstances, I was fired up so much more to learn how to code and play that role, so that then I would not need to hire a code reviewer. That for me, the best possible thing with me and where I see myself as a future, it was learning how to code, learning things technical, learning how to build things more, because I'm an entrepreneur at heart. I probably am an entrepreneur first before coder, but I'm also very competitive with myself, as far as like whatever I'm doing, I like to be as dope at it as I possibly can. So I'm always going to be trying to sharpen my skills as a developer, but then also as an entrepreneur. And that is very, very interesting. I never really considered that part of my story. I usually always start with me learning to code. But enough about me.
That you hire the right people to build the stuff that will build you a good product. So having a good technical background is very important if you want to be a programming entrepreneur, because that's the title of this video and that's what I'm trying to talk about. So obviously you need to know how to code. So I'm going to move on from that bullet point because I feel like I beat that dead horse with a big fat stick.
There he is, beating that dead horse.
You got to have some serious problem solving skills. We as developers are hired not to write code. We are hired to solve problems. That is what we do. We are problem solvers for people. The bigger the problem.
Do you believe that? Drop a comment if you think that that's true, that we as developers, we are hired to solve problems, not to write code.
The more money you can make, and you need to find problems that people really have. You can't just make up problems of your own in order for you to build something, because if you don't have a problem that you're fixing, then you don't really have anything that you can sell. And beyond solving problems for clients, you also have to be able to solve problems within your own business. You have to figure out the things that you need to put in place and what you need to do in order to get your business off the ground. In order to be successful, you need to figure out what you need to build. You need to figure out who you need to market to. You need to figure out how to scale a business when that time comes. And you need to figure out a lot of things. And there's going to be
That's true. That's true. When we are talking about building our own companies, we shouldn't say it lightly. We shouldn't say it like it's going to be an easy thing, and like it isn't much easier to team up with something, whether it be a company, a boss, a partner, you know what I mean? Especially going the solo route. There are, what would you say, hundreds of questions before you even hit your first milestone, or what, thousands, you know? But still, the juice is worth the squeeze.
constant problems that come your way as you start building a business, as you become an entrepreneur. You're going to have all kinds of headaches all the time, and you're going to have to be good at solving those problems. Eventually, if your business gets big enough, then you can hire problem solvers who can do it for you. But most of us...
Okay, so you as the founder, you as the captain of the ship, I'm talking to you, person watching this video, who has made it this far. Shout out to you for making it this far. If you're going to be the creator, you have to carry the load in the beginning. You have to really sacrifice in the beginning. You have to really, give it your all in the beginning, but it will eventually pay off, and then you can hire people and team up with people to make your, part easier. That's a very good thing to know, that to know it's going to be hard. We all know that, but then also that one day it will be easier as you do better, as you continue to build one step at a time. It's a marathon, not a race, right?
Of us who are starting out as developers who want to become entrepreneurs, many of the times we're on our own and we need to solve all the problems. So that also means that you are going to have to be able to wear many hats. Like, you have to be able to do more than one job. You can't just write code all day. You have to be able to market. You have to be able to network. You have to be able to do a whole lot of other stuff. Like, I deal with my taxes. I deal with all
marketing, networking, taxes, trademark, LLC, banking, accounting, hiring, firing, meetings, psychology between the team, managing egos, still trying to be productive, still being creative. We're probably barely scratching the surface. We're just getting started. But woo, if you're really built for that, if that's really your dream, if that's really, because you can. I'm not saying it's weird because I'm trying to scare people off, but then I'm also the ones with the fire within them that have that spark, I'm trying to pour wood on it, because to some people this is a little exciting if you're one of the crazy ones out there. But I was watching a podcast earlier today where somebody said, I'm an entrepreneur, and just the way that I feel like we're all gonna die one day, might as well leave something awesome here behind me. Might as well take up the challenge. Might as well, give it my all while I'm here. Or if not, what else are we doing? If you're that type of person, it's only right. You're supposed to be doing this. Setting up tests for yourself to achieve, not being afraid to look stupid and fail in front of everyone. So what? Who cares? Knowing that when you finally do make it, that you will join the ranks of the greats who came before us. It's just awesome to be that.
All kinds of different things that I never thought I would have to deal with, that I never had to deal with as an employee, I deal with as an entrepreneur, because everything is kind of falling on me, especially at the point where I'm at in my endeavors as an entrepreneur. I'm at the beginning stages. I have to take on all the work myself. I don't have a personal assistant, so I respond to all the emails that I have. I don't have another developer that helps me out, so I code all the stuff myself. I do have my wife helping me with the marketing for the app that we're building.
Bro is speaking my language, but I do have developers helping me out. Shout out to the digital builders. Y'all know who you are, especially if you're watching this video. I'm talking about Carlos, Prakash, Abi, Aaron. Join the Discord. If you're not one yet, shoot me a message on LinkedIn. Shout out to everybody who has written me a message. That's the reason why I do this. That sounds so cliche, but it's so true. I see why everybody always says that all the time, because it literally is the messages, the community that we're building that keeps this thing going. It's Discord. It's in there. We have architects, mentors, founders in there, and we're growing.
We're building because it's kind of in a thing that she's very active in. So luckily for me, I have her helping with the marketing. But if I didn't, that would be another thing that I would have to do. Anytime there's a fire, anytime something is broken, anytime something has to be built, anytime I need to make content, it's all on me. So you have to be comfortable wearing many hats. I know that many of us,
if he edits these videos also, that is crazy. I'm watching the graphics, I'm watching the effects. I've thought about doing this type of stuff with my videos, but then again, I'm like him. I'm doing most of it by myself. I just shout out the team, but at least the video stuff is all me. Then I'm also doing all sorts of other stuff. I want to edit my videos. I'm an artist as well. It's creative. It looks cool. It probably would make it better for you guys. It probably would help the channel grow. But God, man, that takes so much time.
Stereotypical coders sit in a dark room, headphones on, hoodie up, hacker man typing away at a computer. Like, that's just not the reality of it. When you are building a business, you have to be more than just a programmer, because if you're not, the chances of you succeeding aren't going to be as good, because you have to be able to do it all. So continuing on the theme of wearing all the different hats, I want to talk about some of the things that you might have to do as a developer that go beyond more of the vague stuff that I kind of mentioned, and talk about some of the things that would be very beneficial for you to think about having to do, or keep that on like the front burner, so that you know that when the time comes and you're ready to become an entrepreneur, these are some of the things that you're going to have to be good with, that you're going to have to manage yourself. One of the things is project management, right? Us as software developers, we're used to working on teams. We got project managers, we got scrum masters, we got product owners, we've got BAs, and we got all kinds of different people that tell us what we need to do. But when you are running your own show, you have to manage your own projects. You have to get organized. You have to be able to use project management tools like Trello or Notion or whatever, a piece of paper and a pen. You're still going to have the
I use a piece of paper and a pen. I have my notebook right here with my notes. Of course, I also use my phone, my notes there, and my iPad. I'm very much ADHD with my notes, but then somehow I always remember where everything is that I needed. Of course, I use Google Drive as well. I pretty much live on Google Drive, but then also my notes, my iPad, my phone, and then an instant a message between me and my girl that our Facebook Messenger is pretty much how I transfer things from my phone to my computer quickly. She knows not even to text me back over there because I'm always copy and pasting something there or something like that. That's
Manage your own
my
product.
style.
Another thing is that you're going to have to figure out product development. There's a lot that's involved in marketing that many of us as developers, when we work regular jobs, we don't have to deal with. We don't touch that stuff. It's just like, give me my ticket, give me my points, and I'm just going to work on my task. Well, that's not the case when you're trying to build your own business as a developer. You're going to have to do all that stuff, and you're going to have to be able to develop your product. Another thing is user experience, UI, UX, right? Many developers, we don't think too much about user experience. If you are a front-end developer, there's probably a good chance that you focus on that a bit more. But I, for instance, have a year's worth of UI, UX designer on my resume, and I've worked in that realm, so I understand UI, UX, and I know the importance of good user experience. But I'm not gonna lie, many developers, even a lot of front-end developers, don't know that much UI, UX. And if you're like a full stack, more back-end heavy guy, chances are the stuff that you're gonna make is gonna look like shit. And a lot of the times, it's probably gonna have a bad user experience. But if you're solving a big enough problem, you can get away with not having the best user experience sometimes. I mean, I've used AWS and other tools that are just a mess and I feel have terrible user experience. But in this day and age, user experience is very important, and it's a thing that you're going to have to at least get comfortable with some of the basics and understanding how to lay out a nice application or a nice website or a nice interface for a user to use your product. Because if you give people bad user experience, they're going to bounce. They're going to find somebody else that can fix their problem for them that doesn't give them a headache. Networking is this word that I use so often that I often don't practice what I preach, but it's very important to network with other developers who are entrepreneurs or other entrepreneurs that aren't developers, because you never know. You might find a co-founder. You can meet other people that have gone through what you're going through, that have experienced some of the stuff that you're.
I have to pause it. Networking is everything. Networking is number one most important thing. Networking is the main thing I'm always going to mention because that's what I owe the most to. Can't really stress that enough. I mean, also, of course, your own personal hard work, because you have to have the skills to back up, what people who meet you expect of you. Or a lot of times people will meet you because of things that you have built and things that you have done and the name that you have made for yourself. But you have to mix all of these things together, and that's what was really what drives the rest of it home, is your networking. And I also always have to say that it's not being corny and transactional. Be a good person, be a friend, but now your friends are other developers, and boom, you're networking. The best of both worlds. You're meeting an ally who speaks your language, knows exactly what it feels like to have to console log and work on a course policy error, all night, and have ChatGPT break your project or something like that. You have an ally there who's also a friend, who's also could be a colleague, and you never know.
You're experiencing as a new entrepreneur, or someone that's like an accountability buddy that might be at the same level as you, that you can kind of bounce ideas off of and talk to and help you along your way. You can maybe even find a mentor, maybe a more grown-up entrepreneur that wants to take you under their wing and teach you everything they know. If you are that person, hit me up, because I need some help. I need a mentor myself. But it's true, when you surround yourself with people, like-minded individuals who are doing things that you want to do or have done things that you are trying to do, it can be very beneficial. And it's also very important to network in the area of the problem that you're trying to fix. There's a big group of people that experience that problem often, and they know a lot of bit about the problem. Those are the people that you want to be talking to. Those are your users. Those are the people that you can market to. Those are the people that you want to network with. Those are the people that you want to figure out how you can best solve their problem, because those are the people that you will eventually end up selling to. So there's just a lot of benefit and value in networking. So make sure you go out there and you network. I wish I did it a little bit more, and I wish that I practiced what I preached, and I'm working on it, but you should be networking on it too. Get it? See what I did there? So clever. My kids hate my dad jokes. You're going to have to be able to manage your time too, because now you are a one-stop shop. You're trying to build stuff. You're trying to market. You're trying to network. You're trying to do all these different things. And if you're not managing your time, if you're not on top of those things, if you're not organized, chances are you're not going to be productive. If you're not productive, chances are you're not going to build shit. If you don't build anything, then you're going to be broke and you're going to be back at your 9 to 5, which nobody wants that. So make sure that you are managing your time. Make sure that you find what works for you. My wife uses paper and pen and a calendar, and she blocks everything off there. I use time blocking sheets that help me. I'm not super duper strict on my time blocking, but I try to manage my time as best as possible. I have like my little morning routine, not like the cheesy morning routines that you see on YouTube, but like morning routines where I get up, I work out, I have some coffee, I get in front of the computer, I focus and I work for a while. And it's something that I do every day, and that routine is really good. I've always have been proud of being organized chaos, but the truth is that the more organized I get and the less chaotic I am, the more productive I see myself being. And I've noticed this myself personally, and I'm sure that that applies to a lot of other people out there. So just keep that in mind. Let's get to two things that I'll bundle up: financial literacy and legal literacy. Look, you don't got to become a lawyer. You don't got to become an accountant, but you should have some knowledge of this stuff, basic knowledge of this stuff. Knowledge. It's very important for you as an entrepreneur to be able to understand your taxes, to be able to understand contracts. Use ChatGPT, run that shit through ChatGPT. Every contract I get from a sponsor, I look it over, I read it, I run it through ChatGPT. I ask it if it has any gotchas. If it's serious enough, I have a lawyer friend. I am officially cool and old, and I really have a real lawyer friend.
Better call Saul.
And I've had a few times when I've had to reach out to him to help me with a couple things, just to look over a contract, just to see if I could break a contract. But I have done way more legal work than I thought I was going to have to when I started as a YouTuber. And I know that as I continue to build things, I know that there's some legal aspects to like the app that I'm building with like personal information and things like that, that are things that I have to consider. So brush up on a little bit of legal stuff, and don't forget about that stuff, because you don't want to get bit in the ass when it comes to making a mistake that could cost you a lawsuit or cause you money. And onto the money thing, get yourself a good accountant, get yourself a CPA. You don't need it right away. You don't have to get an accountant first, but you should think about that stuff. You should watch a few YouTube videos on like what type of corporation you should start. If you should get an LLC, I highly recommend getting an LLC. I've had one since the start of my YouTube channel. I am an S Corp, so I can get some tax breaks from paying myself distributions. And I did research on that stuff. I am someone who used to have gold teeth when he was 17, and I've done drugs and have been a juvenile delinquent. I never thought that I would be talking about getting an LLC or having an accountant or having a lawyer friend, but I do now, because I am taking these things seriously, because it's important to know these things. And if you're trying to be a successful entrepreneur, you don't have to be a lawyer, you don't have to be an accountant, you don't have to be a CPA, but you should understand the basics of all those things, so that when something feels a little off, your spidey senses will start tingling, and then you'll be able to make a good judgment call by realizing like, hey, something's not right here with like my taxes or my spreadsheets or this contract. A little knowledge, a little bit of learning goes a long way. Another thing, like, you're gonna have to be learning. You're a software developer. We're used to it. We learn all the time for our jobs. Like, that's something that we do constantly. As a entrepreneur, that does not change, but now you're going to have to be learning a lot about other things, not just accounting and legal, all the other stuff that I mentioned, but it's a continuous journey of learning. It's fun, it's exciting, it's different. I really enjoy the learning process. I enjoyed it as a developer, and it kind of gets a little old after a while. But when you're becoming an entrepreneur, there's so many things to learn, and it's a lot of fun. And I take a lot of joy in it. If you don't like learning, then it's going to be rough, because if you don't want to learn something, you're going to have to pay someone who knows how to do it. And you can definitely find a person to do any job you want, but it's going to cost you. But you can also learn how to do those things and save yourself some money, especially when you're just getting started and you're trying to build your company and build whatever it is you're building. It's good to learn, and you're going to be doing a lot of it. And the last thing is learn how to adapt, learn when to roll with the punches, learn when something you're building may not be working out, and learn to pivot, learn to change course, learn to identify problems in your business, and learn to be resilient, because you're going to need to do that as an entrepreneur. And it's just the name of the game. It comes with the territory. And that's pretty much all I got. I just wanted to get this video out there. These are things that are fresh on my mind, things that I'm learning. I'm trying to share from my own experience, talking about the things that I've been researching, the things that I'm doing, the things that I've done, and the things that I plan on doing in order to be.
Man, shout out to this dude. A great video. Link of this is in the description if you want to go back and watch it without me. It's Dorian Develops. I'm already subscribed, about to give him a like and a comment. Shout out to you, especially if you made it to the end. Please join the Digital Builders. I'm doing this every single week, learning, growing myself, meeting more people, building a community, going to share it with you guys now that we have the channel. As I'm growing as a person, finding cool videos like this, I'm gonna hop up here. I'm Lionel the Builder. I'll see you next time. Peace.